Today we're going to talk about writing your keynote outline, your keynote presentation. A lot of times speakers will come up to me and they will ask me how to actually put together their outline. So today you're going to pick up 5 tips that are going to help you to write that speech outline. Before we get started, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel for ongoing tips that are going to help you to write your speeches and become an overall better speaker. Now, we're going to get into it right away. Tip number 1 is what I call the clarity question. Before you set out to write your keynote, make sure you know this. What do you want your audience to think, feel, or do as a result of hearing you speak, of hearing your talk? And think of these all as separate questions that you can answer. What do you want them to think? So what are they thinking when they walk into the room, and what would you like them to think differently? Feeling, what are they feeling when they walk into a room? Sometimes people are feeling hopeless or apathetic, like things can't be changed. And what do you want them to feel afterwards? And then finally, what do you want them to do? It's so important to know what you want your audience to do as a result of hearing you speak. Your next step is ask yourself, what's my argument? What's the path I want to take my audience on? What are you trying to argue here? Before you sit down to write a keynote, it's not just about writing about a topic. It's about knowing, okay, where are you taking them? What's this journey, and what is the argument you want to make? What is the big idea you want to bring to your audience? That's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is, what is your proof? And your proof is your 3 to 5 major points in your speech. So you know what you want your audience to think, feel, or do. You know the argument, the big idea you want to make. Now, what's the proof that you have of your truth? What's the proof of your truth? Know that and put it in 3 to 5 points that you're going to elaborate on in your speech or keynote. Now, before we go on to the last 2 tips, let me know below, how long does it normally take you to write a speech, your keynote, based on time? So if you're writing a 30 to 45 minute keynote, how long does that normally take you to put together? And do you start with an outline, and are these tips helping? Let me know in the comments below. Tip number 4 is your introduction. How should you outline that? Now, I'm going to put some more ideas for other videos you can watch on starting your speech. But one way to start your speech is to use what I call the you, me, and we approach. And I learned this from a few different coaches I've had along the way. But you want to start with you, your story, your relevant introduction, why the topic is important to you, and why you're an expert to speak on it. Next, you want to use a we approach. You want to make sure that the audience knows this is a problem that needs solving, and you want to connect to their pain. So you want to make sure that they are on board with you agreeing that this is a problem we need to solve. And finally, you. That's the last part of your introduction. Make it about your audience. What is the big promise that you're going to give them? What's the big result you're going to give them at the end of the speech? Make sure that's in your introduction so people know there's something that they're going to get out of your talk. And finally, tip number 5, when you are putting together your outline, is know what you want to put in your conclusion. Once again, there are a lot of things you can do in a conclusion of a keynote talk, but one thing that really works is to end with something memorable, like a story that serves a purpose. And the purpose is not only to back up your premise, your big idea, but to prove that it works. So do you have a story that you can put at the end of your talk, or some type of memorable experience that you can give at the end of your talk that proves that your process, your 3 points, your big idea actually works? So there you have it, the 5 tips to putting together a speech outline quickly. Know what you want your audience to think, feel, or do. Know the path you want to take them on. Start with your introduction. Make sure you have that you, we, me approach. Make sure you have your 3 to 5 major points, and then conclude with something memorable that proves that your process works. If you found this helpful, make sure you go on to 52publicspeakingtips.com. Link is below. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel, of course. And let me know below what you thought of the video, what helped you, and what tips you might have that you can add to help others write their most memorable keynotes. I'll see you soon. If you found today's video helpful, make sure you look at these other videos and you subscribe to make sure that you get ongoing tips to make sure that you become the best speaker you can possibly be.